That felt
Black party,
Pretty good.
black party,
Mm-mm,
a
mm,
black
block
mm,
party.
party,
mm-mm,
We are.
block
Hey,
mm,
everybody.
party.
mm,
It's me,
mm.
James from Minority Korner, and we've also got.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we should have rehearsed. We definitely should have rehearsed. I'm
We
so
did.
sorry.
Full disclosure, none of us know. I don't think any of us know what Block Party really is or what we're doing. And this little gem will show everybody that. But we're here. And
Oh,
Renee Colvert from Can I Pet Your Dog and
Thrilled to be here.
JV, Janet Varney from the JV Club.
hello, darlings. It's so good to see you.
Ooh, listen to those
Well,
S's. Won't you please? Listen to
and
those sexy vampire S's.
so, in the spirit of we don't really know what this is, but we're here,
Mhm.
Janet, can you tell everybody if they're not watching on YouTube, which you immediately, if you're listening on podcast, thank you for giving us those podcast numbers, stop immediately and switch over to the YouTube. Janet in all of her glory, because she's
I like that the best cloak I could come up with. I also there's an iron-on succulent patch. Like I'm such.
you're on
I'm
theme.
so,
A
ooh,
succulent
Listen, a
vampire.
vampire with a green thumb. We love
Oh.
to see it.
I just love it because I'm on the Zooms and the first thing, Janet, as soon as your video clicks on, you go, "Hey, why am I dressed like a vampire? I misunderstood the assignment."
Well, somehow because we've done live streams together.
Sure.
We are for sure live stream friends and family. And so in my mind, there was a video component. And so very early on, I was like, oh, this is a Spooktacular block party. And why don't I put in my custom fangs in defiance of John Hodgman, but in love for John Hodgman, who hates
Right.
Draculas.
Bring it
So,
full circle. There it
which,
is.
if we're being honest, is also just like clearly an excuse for me to put these in again because it's been a minute since I had them in. And
They're back.
And
you
they're
know what
great.
I feel like? They genuinely, because they're custom made for this thing in which I was a vampire on television for a hot minute, they fit like a retainer. So
Ooh.
I actually put them in and they're kind of uncomfortable, but my first thought was like, oh, this is going to straighten my teeth.
Oh,
Like this is
right.
That.
somehow
Yeah.
Exactly.
somehow it's
Pain is
gonna like
beauty.
cram
Sure.
if I wear these long enough, it will have the same orthodontic effect as if you were wearing a retainer, and my teeth will become even like nicer, closer together, and like compact.
Yeah.
So
I can see it on the Cosmo cover right now. Want
Yeah.
straighter teeth? Get those vampires right
Yeah.
on in
Oh
there.
my gosh.
Yeah.
We love it. I will tell you that because the theme of this what did I call it? It's a block party spectacular barbecue extravaganza.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling spooked. I just want to
Mhm.
say and I love me some vampires, but I'm also spooked by them, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're like, ooh, are you gonna make out with me or like murder me? And I don't know
Yeah,
which
or
one.
both.
Maybe both. Yes,
Yeah.
probably. I watched enough Buffy to know that it's usually both. So mission accomplished on that. So I think you did understand the assignment quite well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I
I
can't be
would-
held responsible for the weird mouth like clicking and possibly spit sounds that are also generated because I feel
All
like those
part
are
of the
imminent.
effect. It's part of the
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Okay, in the spirit of this barbecue extravaganza that I'm not entirely sure what this is, and you're like, but you invited us over here, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know what this is.
Again,
But yeah.
that's a tribute to how much we adore you. Is that
Yeah.
we immediately
We'll
were
show
like,
up.
I don't care, sure.
Absolutely.
Don't have any idea what you're
James
doing.
is
We're
all the
in.
information we
Yeah.
need. Exactly.
Yeah.
JV and JM, I'm in.
Yeah.
Can we get the mics together, ladies, and just record? And you're like, sure. All right, what are we doing? So we each brought a dish for us to dish on. And now
Mhm.
there were some questions in the group chat earlier. If this was a real dish or a metaphorical. As we're on air, I'll tell you metaphorical. So hopefully
Great.
that's
Great.
what
The
Okay.
barbecue part may have
really
leaned some
threw-
of us in the
Right.
worried direction of, oh my God, this is about to happen.
Simply
Should I have
recipes.
prepared a side? How
And
fast
then
can I make
instead you
potato
were-
salad?
And then you're like, just throw in the vampire teeth.
Yeah. When in doubt, slide them in. Just as
You're
good
like,
as
oh
food.
my God, I forgot to get a present for my cousin for her wedding. Oh, well, I just put in the vampire
There we
teeth.
go. There we go. She'll appreciate it. You're welcome. Happy birthday at your wedding.
Oh my god. Okay. So for the dish for the dish I brought, you got to choose your own adventure.
Oh,
Just two headlines that I heard. Do you
okay.
want to hear some good political news that's happening in California,
Ooh,
or do you want to hear some like good nerdy things that are happening in the comic book world?
Mm. What would a vampire want?
yeah.
You're going real into character.
I like it.
Hmm.
I feel for and listen, this is a discussion. This is not a decision. It's a discussion.
Mm.
For the universal group of people listening, I feel like that nerdy thing is going to be more universal than California.
Lives in California. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just give it to you headlines because
Okay.
I was going to give you both anyway, so I want to see where you're going to go. This is just two good things that did happen in California. Now that we made that democratic decision.
Okay, so you're gonna go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah,
And,
that's
okay,
just
great,
the
great, great,
opposite
great,
of
great.
what you said.
But I'll
Okay.
give you the
Great,
nerdy
great.
thing. I will give you the nerdy thing.
Yeah.
To really, this is just the appetizer. This is just,
Okay.
Okay.
oh, here's some chips. This is just the chips and dip. That's all. We're just going to dip into this real quick. So, what happened? Oh, yes. In California, they have two things. They have made it so toy aisles can no longer, it's gender neutral toy aisles. So there's no more
Okay.
like the girl section and the boy section. It's just
Oh,
toys.
we love it.
I'm embarrassed to say that I might have already thought that that wasn't a thing, but of
Sure.
course it's been a
You know what
thing.
it was?
You know, it's because
Target.
I'm always in places where the toy aisle is only one sad toy aisle because it's CVS, and it's also it's like 8 toys and then like markers, notebooks, envelopes, and packing tape. And so in
See,
my
like,
mind, I'm like, oh, it's totally already gender neutral.
already a thing. And I will say Target, and this is, I believe, nationwide. So if you're like, oh no, I won't get to experience this, go to your local Target. And you can experience this all day until they close and then you have to leave. But maybe because they were already started this. And the second tidbit is California schools are now required to provide period products to students for free.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So we
another
have a new
thing that you're
system.
like, gosh, that seems like a thing we would have already figured out.
Oh, yes, 100%. A lot of
You
these things
know,
are like,
like,
oh, that
oh,
wasn't
wow, that's would
ready.
have been great to, yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, well now
Just-
to dish on the main dish that you had requested. And I was like,
Okay.
eat your salad. I was like,
And I was like, vampires don't eat food at all. So this is already, I'm feeling excluded. I heard this is going to be an inclusive,
no.
diverse
Uh,
podcast.
damn
And
it.
I've heard a lot of talk about food and periods.
It's exclusive.
Two things that I personally have not experienced in a very long time.
My job is I do diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and I am
Yeah.
failing. Like,
Mm.
I could get fired for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think about
It's
that.
okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
sorry, vampires. I love you. Hey, I watched Buffy and True Blood. And I did not
You've
see
redeemed
That doesn't seem like
Angel?
it helps much.
What about Angel?
Oh, of course, still bitter
Okay.
that it was canceled after
Okay.
season 5 on that cliffhanger. Like,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So we won't even talk about how Charisma Carpenter was just written off the show because she had a baby, Joss Whedon.
Yeah. There's been some shame spreading around about that era.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's coming out. They're like, oh, yeah, it was toxic and terrible.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it. But I think it just goes to show, like, in the industry, how accustomed you get to terrible toxic. There's no HR in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, there is, and that's how sad that is. Like, there is HR in Hollywood, but
Do they know their HR? Are they aware that that's their role?
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Notes. We agree. They
Nerdy
100%.
dish time. So for coming out date, it was announced that John Kent, son of Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and the current Superman, is bisexual. Came on
Great.
out. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And
Great.
Robin recently came out as bisexual as well. So it's just a bi
Perfect.
over there in DC.
And everyone was like, "Hey, Robin,
Yeah.
about
Let's
time,
go.
honey.
You know what?
Don't want to
Everyone has
label
their-
you, but happy to see that you're over with us now."
And a surprise to nobody. You know what? Everyone has their own timetable to
That's
come
right.
on out.
Sure.
And, you know, we just let Sean Hayes take all the time that he needs. And, you know, now he's doing Q for us and we love it. It's great. Thank you.
Yes.
The side eye though, Dean Cain, who was once Superman but no longer my Superman, he was on Fox News spouting some nonsense about how like,
No.
oh, this isn't really that bold. Like Robin's already bisexual, just jumping on the bandwagon. He was like, I was on the CW on Supergirl, and my daughter was gay on it. Like this isn't that big of a deal. They're just
But-
bandwagoning.
Mm.
Well, what? So he was on Fox News.
Yes.
That actually surprises me, I guess, that he was on Fox News saying like, we are already were like doing the stuff that I
Yeah.
would assume that Fox News would be like, don't talk about that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to undercut it, but instead it just sounded like he was supporting it.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
it was just like, wait. It's like, it's not really that big of a deal. We've already been doing this. In fact,
Yeah.
I play the dad of a gay daughter on my CW
Yeah.
show. And the
It's
show
not
that
really
people
that big of a
cut the
deal
mic.
because it's totally normal and acceptable to be gay. I'm sure we all agree with that. Like,
Right?
maybe
I mean,
that's what he
come
was doing.
on.
Maybe that was his like clever
Mm.
slide it in
Ooh,
under the
okay.
guise of Fox News to normalize something that people who watch that channel might not necessarily think is normal. Ooh.
That does. Okay. All
But I don't know.
right.
Is he like a huge Republican and stuff?
He's a yeah.
Oh.
He's on Fox News on just by
Okay.
accident.
So
not
he
to try to
hasn't. This is
promote
not him
his
being
show
in
on
deep,
Quibi.
deep undercover for many years.
I like that theory though. That was
Yeah.
good.
No.
You
Okay.
should
gonna
float
do?
that to him and be like, hey.
Say that he was upset that Superman wouldn't be off. Like Superman's dating a hacktivist, and he's like, whatever that is. And
Uh-huh.
then that he's fighting climate change and the deportation of refugees. He's like, he should be fighting. You know, in Iraq, you can be killed for being gay, and that was his gripe. That's where he was griping.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty liberal gripe for Fox News. I
Sure
guess.
is.
That's true. What a win.
Yeah. What a win. It's a win either way. It's just a win. And the
Well-
more it gets talked about, that's good press.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Well, we devoured my dishes. What do you
Delicious.
think?
All gone.
I'm actually full. Goodbye.
Oh no.
I was overserved. I was
I-
overserved.
I will say, you know what? There's supposed to be. I invited someone late to the party. I was gonna have them in my mind when I set this up. I was like, great. And then I'm gonna invite this person to crash, and then y'all will be like, "What are you doing here?" And you know how there's always someone who crashes a party, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I forgot to text them until today, 30 minutes
Yeah.
beforehand. And I was like, "Hey, Hal, Hal,
Oh,
what are you doing in
Hal.
30 minutes? Can you come crash the Zoom? I forgot to
We
invite
would have
you
loved
to."
that crash.
And did he say I'm busy getting ready for the live thing I'm doing? Isn't that tonight? Or is it?
Probably. He
Oh
said,
my
"Hey,
I
before
thought there
we
was like a
got this,
live. Oh no,
before we
sorry.
got
I'm thinking about an old tweet that I saw that I now remember I mistook for being a today tweet, and yet it was very old. So not
this." Oh my
that's
God.
not what he was doing. That's
Speaking
not
of
what he was
block
doing.
party schedules, which I think the theme is figuring out what are we doing?
Mhm.
Block party, yeah. I think there's something that I'm supposed to be doing next week. Does anybody know? I think
Does it go into next week?
Is it? Yes,
I
it's
thought it
2
was-
weeks.
Oh
Oh,
no, I thought it was a
Is
week
it 1
too.
week?
me. Okay.
Oh. well,
No,
this is
Maybe
you're
not.
good.
You
right.
might be right.
I hope the block party's still going.
I feel like I'm concerned that I may have like already called it a week-long thing in
You're like,
Same.
it's
possibly
done.
more than one place.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, Renee, in all
Yes.
fairness, you've got that senioritis going on.
I sure do. I sure do. And thank you for recognizing such a thing. Both in
It's a
age.
miracle that I
and-
thought I could get you here today because I'm like, it's senior ditch day right now. It's the last year of Can I Pet Your Dog?
Exactly. No, she hasn't been in class all year. Jenna, the little Can I Pet Your Dog? Can you believe we've talked about dogs for 7 years? And so on the year 7, we're just like, we should probably wrap this up. Thus the senioritis of the fact that we
Gotcha.
showed up at all. You got it. You
Buffy
got it.
ended
You
on
got it.
season 7 to keep on the vampire front. Scandal
Sure.
also ended on season 7. So
All
Okay.
dogs go to 7.
Thank
Because
you.
all dogs
Yeah.
go to 7.
Oh, we thought it was sort of discreet what we were doing, but it's obviously clear as day why we decided to end on 7. Okay.
Any other dishes to be served?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Janet, do you have a dish? I did the same thing where I have a myriad of dishes, but I come unresearched. I come
Okay,
just an idea that I had, and
Yeah.
you can be like, Renee, none of those facts are, none of that is actually happening.
I like to feast on everything, so you better be ready.
Okay, I love it.
I realize now that what I thought was a dish was not a public factoid dish. It was a personal dish.
Same.
Because it felt like it worked well with the fangs, which is that today, just before we started, my sweetie was like, are you ready for your present? I got you something. And I was like, what is this? And it turned out to be like a really impressive knife
Oh, wow.
that looks like a raptor claw.
It sure
It
does. What is that for, Janet? What are you to do with such a thing?
Self-defense?
I'll take it.
Wait, I started it like, is it today's special? Like, hey, baby, you ready for your present? And you're like, yes, I am ready.
Yeah.
It's a raptor claw knife.
Yeah. But you can also kind of turn it into like, this sort of looks like a penguin a
It's
little
very
bit.
cute. Yes, we've got a little
So if
puffin on the screen.
one thing I could do,
Gotta look
because
at the YouTubes, guys, y'all.
I got to get some training. I should not carry this until I'm fully trained.
Sure.
And because this feels like it could break bad so fast. I'm going to try to close it.
Yeah.
Careful.
If I were to come at you like
Yeah.
that, and then I think in
fangs.
all of us, raptors are
fangs.
terrifying and
Yeah.
can't be trusted. So I feel like just based off term alone, I've got a raptor claw.
Okay.
Don't mess with me.
I mean,
I'd be
it's
like, all
called-
right.
But to be honest with you, I called it that, but really it's just called the cricket.
Oh, really?
I guess
Wait,
because it
it's
looks like
many
a
things.
cricket.
Maybe.
But here's where these things tie together, and where I
Oh.
thought maybe the Max Fun Block Party thing would tie in as well, which is that I have these fangs on in tribute to Dracula hating John Hodgman.
Sure.
That's Max Fun. That's
There we
Block
go.
Party.
One.
Automatic
Boom.
Block Party. We've now recommended 2-3 podcasts because of who's on this,
Great.
plus John Hodgman. Now I can
And
refer
Hal from
and Hal
Loveland.
Loveland.
We got
I
this
love
in
him.
wrestling.
Hal Loveland. Hal Loveland. I can't say a letter B with these fangs. There's some walking. You gotta walk a mile in someone's shoes, and now I know that the
Right.
Draculas can't say Loveland.
Lublin.
There's the way these two things actually make sense together, and why it's funny that this was handed to me when I already had the fangs in, because as I said earlier, I put them in way earlier than I needed to. Is
ready.
that
2 o'clock.
in an episode of the JV Club over the summer with Sean Devlin, I ended up telling the story of how I don't really carry stuff like this, but I do get nervous on dark evenings, especially in San Francisco, because sometimes it's very, very quiet in areas where you're walking versus like if you're walking in New York, there's kind of someone always around.
And sometimes when it is noisy, it's the wrong kind of noisy.
It's
and
the
you're
wrong
like,
kind of noisy.
It's a little much.
Yeah. And so I feel like my best defense, and I think many people feel this way, or at least women, but I think maybe many people feel this way. I feel like my best defense is to act crazy.
Yeah.
So I had the thought, like I was walking alone at Sketchfest in 2020 and had this whole sequence of thoughts that seemed super rational and kind of still seems rational, which is if I carry my fangs around, like these look good. No
they're
one,
good.
like if someone came at me, if I just turned around and hissed at them and said, at last.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't you think somebody who was going to like hurt me would be like, oh, fuck.
Oh, they're
And
real.
like run away?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
got
absolutely.
it. As long as there's an element of surprise.
Yeah.
And so, and and another example that I gave when Brandon and I were walking somewhere and this could sort of born after him like getting a new knife for actual like traveling, like having it in our emergency kit and stuff. But I think he got excited about the idea that I was like, oh, I don't really know how to use, like I don't have knife training, which you kind of should have if you have a sharp knife.
Right.
And so he handed me, we were on a walk and he surprised me. He was like, I did bring this knife. Now, this is how you open this. And I was like, okay, so in this situation, again, if someone came at us and I didn't have my fangs with me, then my next plan would be to hold the knife and be like, can we kill this one, Daddy? Some other surprising character like, oh, they're serial killers.
Oh, I see.
And for some reason, being British seemed like it would be more
no,
creepy.
That's so creepy. Like if you're
And calling him Daddy.
No.
That
That's a
seemed
recipe
like
for fear.
yeah.
That is,
Oh, boy.
So the dish is just like how do people keep themselves safe? And are people as crazy as I am in living in a fantasy world where you think that you could prevent violence, not with violence,
Yeah.
but in fact
With
with
fear.
crazy and just some like confusion,
Yeah.
maybe
Perfect for the
bordering on fear.
season. Perfect for the
And it's the
season,
season.
Sppoktacular. And like I think in this case, like because I know like we want to produce love and not fear. But if someone's trying to attack you, I think it's fine to pull out the arsenal of fear. And now I'm feeling like because the thing that would scare me the most is clowns. But if I got a clown nose, but I wonder if I would also scare myself. You know? And
Just
then we
knowing
both
that you
run
had it
away.
on. I mean, no one's
Just
saying you have to look at yourself.
But
Just
I would know, and I would imagine myself, and so then I'm just like honk honk, and then
Honestly, and crime solving, frankly, I feel like there'll be an epidemic of robbers and murderers turning themselves in because of the scary vampire and clown out there. And you guys are
Right?
the heroes. Yeah.
it's like Slenderman.
Right.
Renee, what is do you have a fantasy of like how you would get out of a situation like that that is as ludicrous as mine?
Sure. No, I think it goes both ways. It goes the crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because I am such a simpleton, it's just being reasonable with them. I'm like, look at my shoes. They are from Target.
Yeah.
What do you, come on, profile me a little better. I have no money. You know such a thing. So we don't love that.
Right.
Right. And then we love it. Just talk to him reasonably. With
I
love.
could also
If
see
I may
pulling
say,
out-
Sean Devlin also, he did that. That's how, like, he told a story of how he very calmly and rationally talked someone out of mugging
Yeah.
him by knife point.
Isn't that
Not
fun?
recommended necessarily, but
I'm gonna
he
stick to the clown
absolutely had that
nose.
experience.
Right.
But also, I think
Renee-
it was in, like, I want to say it was like in Vancouver or something, someplace
Oh,
where
that's different.
there's some
Yeah, that makes sense.
there's some
Like
scary stuff there,
Maine.
but the cliche is that everyone
be
in
great?
Vancouver would be like, "I'm so sorry to be mugging you."
They had a reasonable conversation about it. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That did
Renee,
happen.
I could also see. If I can recommend this to have in your
Please.
arsenal because I think the reasonable thing, absolutely. But if you want to kick it up a notch and just spice it up
Yes.
for you, knowing your skills and your talents and who inspires you, I could see you bust out into like a Debbie Allen dance number.
sure.
Just
Yeah.
like soft
Ooh,
shoe, like they come in, you're like
Yeah.
gow, and then like I mean that's scary. Someone breaks out to full
Yeah.
Yeah.
choreography.
Just
Yeah.
get them off balance. Just mentally off balance. You already are so far ahead of the game because you're not going like, "Oh, please take anything you want." Like
Right.
anything you do that's not that is going to
Yeah.
be like
A
empowering.
5, 6, 7, 8. I don't. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Kick right. Like, oh no, she's kicking now.
Oh no. Oh my. Okay.
I don't know what that is, but I better run.
I think that's
Just
it.
I love
Between the three of us, we have it
Yeah.
figured out.
I think
Surely.
we're safe.
Yeah.
We're like now we can go walk around the streets at any time that we want,
Yeah.
doing what we need to do.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Great work,
Oh,
everyone.
God.
Nice
Oh.
job.
Renee, give
Yes.
us the dessert. What do we have?
Sure, I would love to. Well, now I've come prepared with 3 options. I'll let you choose. One's a helpful tip, one is a beef, and one is a pitch that I have no information on.
Well, I love that you brought the dessert card over because everyone loves
Exactly. You gotta
to
choose.
look at
You
all the
gotta
desserts.
choose. Listen, we've got
And
a
maybe
lot.
we'll order a little of everything and we'll just take a tiny bite. Just bring 3 spoons.
Sure.
I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Especially not the beef for dessert. I don't know about the beef for dessert, but
I know. I don't know. I'll be able to sleep if I have that beef for dessert.
Can't have that beef for dessert. Certainly not. No,
heavy.
absolutely not. Okay. All right. But
I need to see it. I mean, I need to
the
see
sample
it.
platter. The sample platter, of
Yeah.
course.
Just
Okay.
a little taste, a little
So first
taste.
on the cart, the helpful tip. This is very on brand. Chewy.com. All pet Halloween costumes, 40% off. Folks, get into it. You got to get in there. Go
I
get
do
your
need to do
sale.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
I got 2 dogs who will hate that, and
Sure. Sure.
but they will look so
You
fun.
gotta
Gotta order now.
Right.
Gotta order now.
I didn't last year. I was like, we're not doing Halloween. We're all inside. We're not doing Halloween. And then I turned on to Instagram. Everybody's doing Halloween. I had to run to Petco, get Tugboat an ill-fitting Groot costume. He looked stupid. It was just bad. So let me be a cautionary tale.
You know when mom is being that honest, and, like,
What?
not just like, oh,
What?
you can pull off anything. Like, he looks stupid.
What was ill-fitting about, like, is there a dog that it would have fit well, or was it just
Oh,
going to
gosh.
be an ill-fitting Groot
Believe
costume
so.
no
Well, I
matter who
think
wore
in
it?
general, Tugboat, because he's got that barrel chest. So,
Yeah, barrel chest.
so his this little face didn't quite fit in the hole, and and then his little arm, like it was pulling his arms up. So it was just there's photographic evidence, but it was
Tugboat.
so yeah. Get to Chewy now and get your extra large costumes.
That is a fun
gonna win
costume for a
Halloween.
dog, though. A Groot costume, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
real
good time.
good.
Park, and you're like, oh, he's saying Groot, but in
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Okay, this is
Okay,
great.
you got
This
it.
is
Okay.
actually, that was a very helpful
A
tip.
helpful tip.
I
A
am
helpful
going to get
tip.
on top of
Okay,
that.
go do it.
Well,
Go
let's
do it
get
now.
a little taste of the beef, just a little.
The beef.
I want to be
The
able to
beef. You said
Liver.
you needed a dish. I'm like a A to D association person. Just what could this? Okay, so that and that and that. So
Right.
dishes, literal ones. I use the same dish every single day as a single person. Do we need the rest of that? I don't know that we do. I feel what would happen, because I hate doing dishes so much, if just every person were assigned to their own dish that they bring to the dinner party, and then you leave with it, and then nobody has dishes at the end. And that's my take on dishes.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a person who likes owning multiple dishes because I like fun, oh, look, this is a dish with a squirrel on it. And like, oh, this is, what
Oh,
mood
yeah.
am I? What otter mug? What of the 3 different otter mugs that I have do I need?
Yeah.
But that being said, I
Yes.
strongly support bring your own dish
Right.
to the party
Thank you.
and leave with it. And then the host is not tasked with doing dishes. That's
Doing dishes
wonderful.
afterwards. Well, thank you so
I
much.
think that's great.
Great
Thank you
call.
so much.
Bring
Okay.
and BYOD, bring your
Great.
own dish. But then specify they also need to bring like a dish.
Yeah.
or
Sure.
just
Yeah.
a
You're going to need to
physical
bring one
dish.
with food on it, one with food not on it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. That's good. So I guess it's not a beef so much as an
Bring your own
announcement.
dish.
Dishes are over.
Yeah. Or maybe it is
Double
just
dish.
that you bring your own meal and no one else is going to get any of it.
Yeah.
And you'll eat off your own plate and then you'll take your plate
Right.
and it will just be a bunch of people alone eating together, whatever they
Talk to
want.
each other. Totally allowed to talk. Talking.
Yeah.
Eye
Yeah,
contact
yeah, yeah.
is encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dinner parties
Exactly.
at Renee's house. Sounds like and Janet, if you get to the door and you realize, shit, I didn't bring anything, whip out the vampire teeth.
Whip it out. It's always a great substitute for just about anything.
She's forgiven.
I'm sorry I
She
didn't
brought the
get you a
teeth.
wedding gift. Happy birthday. On your wedding, I have my teeth in.
You're like, oh, okay, that makes up for it. You don't need
Yeah.
any money for the money dance. Oh wait,
Yeah.
you have one more.
Yeah.
What
Oh, we
about
do.
the
Okay.
teeth?
Yes. So
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no information. I have no information.
gosh.
I have heard tale that it takes a bit of time to get an Uber or Lyft these
Yes,
days.
I've also
It's
heard
taken a
this
while.
and seen it in
Taking
one
a
attempt.
while, and when it does, there's surge pricing, and it's really expensive, and it's all gone to hell in a handbasket. Now, the thing that concerns me about that is when Lyft took off, didn't like all of the drunk driving accidents plummet. So I don't love that not only are the prices surging, but maybe people are like, fuck it, I'll just drive myself.
Yeah.
So my pitch is, what if all alcoholic brands put all of their advertising on the Lyft cars? That way they're still getting advertising, and then they also pay for the Lyft, and then we fix that. Great, perfectly researched. Nobody's
Oh.
going to have a problem with it.
Calling up Lyft right now and getting you hired as the CEO because you have all the ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
So you could get ready to go to a party.
Yeah.
Obviously, pop in your vampire teeth.
Obviously, sure. of
The
course.
Lyft comes and picks you up. The
Yep.
Lyft has like a Bacardi ad on it,
Right.
and you go to your party, and then, yeah, all right.
Right. So all the alcohol, they're paying their employees properly, they're insuring them properly, they're making sure that cars are just basically alcohol pays for everything.
Alcohol pays for everything.
True.
That-
I mean, we've learned nothing in this life.
Thank
It's
you.
that.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, what are we gonna do about these Lyfts and Ubers? It was working,
I
and
also
then it
have a
wasn't.
second
Yeah.
idea. You
Oh, let's hear it.
could come and move here to the Castro here.
Yes.
I never wait more than 2 minutes. I live in the Castro.
Wait, it's still okay up there? This is actually really good news because of Sketchfest.
Mm.
Because I was afraid
Yes.
that the waits in San Francisco were going to be like they are up there.
No,
what
no.
about the pricing? Is that still, does it feel, have you experienced a feeling of like, oh, it's kind of the same as it was before?
I feel like it's kind of the same. I don't
Pamplemousse.
really pay attention because I'm just like, I need to get where I'm going. And
Sure.
I mean, at
Got
the
it.
same time, like San Francisco isn't that huge of a distance, so I
Also
can't
true.
really surge that far. I mean,
Yeah.
at most you're traveling 3 miles. It'll
Right.
still
Yeah.
take you 30 minutes, but you're like, oh, I should have just walked, and you could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
You should
Well,
have.
next time.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good.
Okay.
This is good
All
because
right.
it's
Okay.
very stressful to try to figure out how to shovel.
bet.
It is like shoveling,
Sure.
like shuttle everybody around during,
Oh,
like on a
yeah.
Friday night with shows.
Oof.
And it was scary to
Yeah.
imagine like, oh, this person has a stand-up gig like 15 minutes from now across town, and they were supposed to
Right.
wait 25 minutes now for an Uber that would have been there 2 minutes ago, like before
Sure.
the pandemic.
What a
Okay, well, this is
mess.
good. I'm
Fair enough.
filing
There
this
we
away.
go.
This has been very useful for
It's
me.
working.
Well,
We've learned a
this-
lot here.
See this Sppoktacular barbecue extravaganza worthwhile. What a beautiful dinner party barbecue
Oh.
thing that we just did. Block party, block party.
Block party, block party.
Where can they, if they for whatever reason haven't tuned into you and your show, give us a quick blurb about it and where they can find it. JV, we'll start with you.
Oh my gosh. This is what happened with the intros. It wasn't that we weren't prepared. It was that we were so
didn't know who was
polite.
going. I know,
We're so
I know.
polite.
I was like, oh, they're going to wait again.
Yeah.
So I will choose.
That was good. That was a smart
Smart.
move. My podcast is called The JV Club with Janet Varney. It was hard for me to say my own name because of this retainer. And
Vampire
it
retainer.
is available on Max Fun. It definitely is a podcast on Max Fun. I don't know why I am trying to convince people of that. Like, that's what I'm worried about. People won't believe. No, it is. It's on Max Fun as part of the block party
I don't
and off
believe
the block
you.
party.
Mhm.
Renee,
Oh, sure. Yes.
senioritis. All
right.
dogs go to 7.
All dogs going
You're
to
like,
7.
I got
you
a
know it, you
show,
love it.
find it.
Yeah, kids, don't worry about it. Minority Korner, JV Club. Those are the ones you really want to check out. Yeah, but Can I Pet Your Dog? But honestly, most of the time we just talk about how much we love your 2 shows. So come here and talk about that.
Well, you got it. It's like this is this is like, final season. Get
Yeah.
it now. Get
Yep.
it now.
Get on in there.
Listen, I'm approaching 500 episodes, and I'm definitely starting to sort of look
Wow.
like, huh?
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Will other people be like, so I guess you'll probably 500 feels like a good number, huh, Janet?
Disagree.
maybe-
No. And you could leave that one, but you got to come back with something else because you're just
Yeah.
you're a staple in podcasting. We
I
can't
don't
lose
know.
you.
I think I see a show brewing right here. Where every week we jump on and we're like, we don't know what the show is.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take
And
it.
I always have to have the fangs in. It's like
Always.
people,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and it's definitely not video. It is definitely just everyone has to hear this
They can hear it.
uncomfortable. Like, this is what I'm going to sound like when I have dentures. That's basically what it's a prelude.
Training. It's little training
Little
wheels for
preview.
dentures.
Yeah.
We
Oh my
all should be
gosh.
issued some.
Ugh,
Ugh.
I needed this laugh and giggle so much.
Same.
And then if you don't know me, I am James Arthur, the host of Minority Korner. We look at history, the news. This is true. I don't know why I'm laughing like we really do look at the news and history and pop culture all through an intersectional lens. And we're still here doing it. Yes. Also, sidebar while we're recording, I'm going to be in LA from Saturday to Tuesday. I'm hosting
Yeah.
Marvel's Eternals red carpet, and I hope I get to see you too.
Oh.
Yes.
Dun,
We
dun,
will make that
dun.
happen.
And
I like
listeners
this
are
idea.
just here listening to
Mhm.
us making plans for IRL.
I have to be up in San Francisco Friday into Saturday, but then I get back just for a quickie.
How are shit?
I know,
Like,
it's that's
what
very
is
strange.
happening? That
I
is
know.
weird.
But I'm back
I
on
never
Saturday
go to
afternoon.
LA.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
Okay,
Okay.
It's for like a SF State Gator Fest. Like, they like to
Ooh.
bring because all 3 of my Sketchfest partners and I went to SF State, so they like to have us do like a little something
love
something.
this.
It's very
Like
cute.
the alumni coming home.
Yeah,
being like,
and I never graduated, so
I'm still
it
planning
feels like
to,
an
which I
extra
get it.
honor.
If you like went to my bakery and like looked at a cupcake, I'd be like, well, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I was part of that. Can I take credit for this? Yeah, I would too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think and it's sad. I think I have too many credits, but I'm missing one science class. Like it's one of those where you're like, you could just give it to me, guys.
Right.
It's okay.
You
Even though I've never
absolutely should.
asked. I've never asked.
The same thing happened to my graduate program at UC Santa Cruz. It was a graduate certificate when I was there, and then they since have added one class that makes it a master's program. And
one class.
Because you know how often there is a box to check graduate certificate?
Yeah.
Never. I'm like, I can't lie.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you 100% can. Yeah, and both of you should ask. Just be like, I'm honorary degree. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, thank you both so much for coming into this thing.
Oh,
We didn't know
what an honor.
it was, but we made it a thing, and it happened. We did something.
Sure did.
I loved it.
Showed up.
I loved every second of it.
Black party, black party.
Black party, black party.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Listen to all of our shows at the same time.
Yeah.
Get your